This would be Wednesday, December 10th, and we're going to get into bullying. We have information up there for you. Book reports due in 1 week. You have bell work that we're going to have to do. It's also on my website. Novel homework is going to be due tomorrow. You can still do Toys for Tots on Monday. And then, our bell work that we're going to get into here in just a moment says, what is your definition of bullying? Tell me about a time you have witnessed someone being bullied. Who did the bullying? Have you ever witnessed bullying between a student and a teacher? How did it happen? Can someone weaker bully someone stronger? And what can other students do to stop bullying? Have you ever stopped someone from being bullied or stopped a friend from bullying another kid? The bad news is we're not going to spend forever going over this bell work, as I'm sure you guys would want to, because I want to get to our little article we're going to read today, and we have a little YouTube video we get to watch that connects all of it, and so I want to make sure we get to all that too. But I am curious to see your thoughts on here. Specifically, let's do the definition of bullying first and see what your thoughts are there. Kyrie?
I think bullying is when someone does something mean to someone else repeatedly.
Alright, so repeatedly doing something mean?
Yeah.
Vague, but that could work. Pencil?
I said when someone purposely says or does something mean repeatedly, like towards one person.
Gesundheit. Ike?
My meaning of bullying is a repeated act of meaningness and being mean to a large group of people.
So apparently our many times we've been covering this with you guys in school throughout the years has been beaten into you, where you've covered the main ideas. It has to be repeated, and it has to be mean, and repeated, and mean, and it has to be meanness, and it has to be repeated. You're like, Mr. Brovicast, we've heard this. Good. So we're all on the same page as far as that goes. I was checking to make sure. If it's just one time, is it bullying?
No.
What is it?
Funniness.
Being mean.
Apparently it's called being a jerk. And so that's we have to figure out, where some people are just big, fat, jerky faces. But when you're a jerk to the same person over and over again, apparently that's when it becomes the bully idea. And I guess part of the trick is you can have people who sort of switch off. And so like, I can be mean to Kyrie one day, and then Keely can be mean to Kyrie the next day, and then Vivica can be mean the next day. And you're like, well, I guess technically you're not bullying because you keep rotating who does. And so you have to think about that way, is if different people do it, does it still qualify as bullying? If it's different people doing it to the same person and doing the same thing?
Well, if they like planned it, then yeah.
Well, that
It could be
I guess would be
gay.
true if it was a conspiracy. Chloe?
Okay, well, you know, it's mean and repeated, but it's also without the other person, like, saying mean stuff back, because if, like, someone's like, you're stupid, no, you're stupid, then that's not bullying. But if they're like, you're stupid, like, every single day, and they don't say anything back, that's bullying.
So if it's one-sided.
What?
If it's one-sided?
Yes.
I can do that. The witnesses of bullying. Curious, have you seen bullying between, I did the idea of a student and a teacher, or a teacher and a student, where you see what I call highly lopsided bullying, where it's not between two peers. But have you seen bullying that exists that way, where you think you would not normally see it, if you will? Abby Q?
When one of my teachers, no, I'm not going to say any names, because one of my current teachers,
That's good.
when they're, like, mean to their students. Like,
How are they mean? Like, just walk up and just
She's
punch them in the
usually
face?
not very mean, but like, a few days ago she just, like, snapped at random students.
Is that bullying, or is that just being
No,
crabby?
It's bullying, because she's
No,
not
it's
very...
Hang on, she gets to talk.
That's her, she has the same teacher.
Yeah, but
I
like,
didn't call on you. She can't call on you. That's not the way this works.
I
She
said
can't tag in. And so I'm curious to know the difference between bullying, and some people are just crabby people. Especially there's some teachers who aren't bullies. They're just crabby.
She's a
And there's a
bad people.
difference. That's why I'm just making sure the difference.
She's a
Hunter,
Um.
that's you.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was Randy. Anyway, I've never really seen a teacher bullying a student, but I've seen a student being stupid and having punishment as a result.
I guess that'd be different if you're stupid and getting punished for it
But
rather than just.
repeatedly being stupid and repeatedly.
And that's like saying that we're bullying criminals when we put them in jail. It's not
Right.
really bullying.
Like we aren't.
I mean, that's more you're being punished for a poor choice. And I'm assuming bullying is not connected to poor choices.
Yeah, so I'm saying no.
Okay, just making sure.
bullying is.
Kyrie?
Yeah, so I like agree with him because like this teacher may be like mean, but it's like she's mean to people who did something and like made a bad choice. So it's like it kind of
So
makes
crap,
sense.
because I'm mean to people when you make poor choices, and that's not bullying. That's punishing you for making poor choices. So there's a difference. But I mean, but at the same time, I have known teachers who bully specific kids, like they just don't like certain people, like they don't like boys, or they don't like girls, or they don't like cheerleaders, or they don't like certain groups, and so they're more mean to certain groups.
Yeah, that's favoritism.
And that's, yeah, this idea, they can be,
No, that's not.
it can be bullying if you do the favoritism is like, I only like cheerleaders, and they can't do anything wrong, as opposed to like volleyball players, you know, they talk in my class, I'm yelling at them. And so there's a difference between the two, the opposite, if you were favoritism and hateism. Maeve?
Well, I guess to a degree, like, I've been bullied by a teacher, but, like, not exactly. Like, I don't know if you would count it. But, like, I would get in trouble for something, like, the same as, like, my friend, like, but I would always be,
More in trouble?
more in trouble. I would have a bigger punishment than my teacher and than my friend. But also, I think it is possible for a student to bully a teacher because, like, disrespecting a teacher over and over, like, I've seen some students disrespect teachers, like, and do really bad things.
You think it would qualify as bullying?
Yeah, because they do it, like, every day.
I can dig that. I've definitely seen kids bully teachers, which I can talk about in a moment. Thistle.
Well, last year I had a teacher, me and Chloe both had her.
Chloe and I.
And she would, like, pick on us for, like, the littlest things, like, me, Chloe, and our friends or whatever. If we were, like, wore pink on, like,
We wear pink on Wednesdays, I understand.
Yeah. Okay, if we were pink on Wednesday, she would, like, pull us over to the side of the room and, like, be like, you shouldn't wear pink on Wednesdays, like, blah, 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 you're being mean, blah, 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 blah. And she would just, like, do that little stuff. And, like, if we did something, she would, like, pick on us the most. And, yeah.
Did you talk in the class a lot to irritate the teacher, or is that why she...
No.
Chloe here, did
Thank
you
you.
want to make a
Okay,
comment?
so she like, so our teacher,
Yes.
she thought that, like, it was about, like, 11 girls she brought out into the hallway, and she all called us mean girls. Half because we wore pink on Wednesdays and everything, and, like, we did nothing to her. We're not mean girls. We're all just friends.
You just happen to be girls who've
Yeah.
seen the movie Mean Girls
Yeah.
and like the color
And
pink.
Yeah.
And so she totally just, like, calls us out and just has this whole long conversation with us about how we're mean girls when we weren't doing anything, and makes, like, every single one of us cry.
Did
Yeah,
she call
we
you
all
out in the hallway
cried.
a lot, or just that one time?
Well, it was just that one time.
So
But
it's not
she
bullying.
also bullied another student because she was like, he was,
But going by your own definition, if she doesn't call you out in the hall multiple times and be mean to you, then she was just a jerk. It's not
No, but in
bullying.
the classroom, she would, like,
but she
pick on
does,
us
like,
and, like,
rat out kids for, like, this one kid was talking, and then she's like, you better stop talking because your grades are very low and very bad.
Yeah.
And it made him
For the
cry, and he's
whole
never
entire
cried.
class.
And his
Ever.
boy-
Right, but did she do that a lot or just that one time?
She does it a lot.
Yeah.
To that same kid or to different kids?
The different kids
So
too.
once again, not bullying, then that would
Okay.
just be her being a
Well,
jerk.
also, you know, I think that you bully me because you keep on taking that switchblade and you're like, ah!
Oh, yeah, I do me,
doing
too.
nothing to you, and it's just repeated harassment with that knife to me.
I believe it was only once with you and once with her.
You did it twice to me.
Yeah, you did it twice to me in one day.
That doesn't count, it's the same day. It has to be a different day for it to count.
Oh, what?
Leave it.
Oh, wow.
I want to show you a video real quick.
Oh, is this the video that was described?
Please don't pick somebody up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That's not talking. It's just like,
Oh, this is
her, it's just like,
Jackson.
Flick.
Jackson has a very bad day. Dude. Oh, ow.
This is about a kid standing up to his bully. It's from New Zealand is where it was filmed.
Keep going. Look at that. Who's that in the background?
That's my
Which kid's the bully?
The kid that got thrown on the ground.
By a show of hands, how many of you guys say the small kid is the bully? How many of you guys say the big kid is the bully? We'll watch it one more time, then we're going to...
Okay, wait. One out of the two is called fat.
And I can tell you there's definitely about a kid standing up to his bully.
I mean, I would fight back. I wouldn't let him just punch me in the face.
Okay, keep going. Keep going. Look at that. Who's that in the background?
Oh man, this got hurt.
Oh!
And he's just
Faces
walking
in the
away like a
camera
cool
at the
guy,
last
just like
second.
ignoring him.
Oh,
I
Alright. In light. What we're going to take a look at is the article that you picked up from my desk. The bigger kid is Casey. The shorter kid was Richard. And it says, an Australian teen dubbed the Punisher, who became a YouTube star after viciously lashing out at a bully, said he snapped after years of being picked on. The moment 10th grader Casey Haynes, so the bigger kid, Casey, who is 16, explodes on a pint-sized kid who punched him several times is as frightening as it is impressive. I actually snapped and grabbed him and picked him up off the ground and threw him to the ground in self-defense, the 16-year-old told Australia as a current affair. I wasn't really thinking. I was just like, yeah, finally it's over, he said the experience. I was scared. The 40-second video captured the incident last week at Chifley College, which is what they call their schools, in St. Mary's, north near Sydney. It was posted to YouTube and instantly scored thousands of views. The spinally-legged 7th grader, who was 12, so the kid that was doing the punching was a 12-year-old 7th grader. The bigger kid was a 16-year-old sophomore in high school. Identified as Richard Gale, does his best Rocky Balboa dance as he pops Haynes in the face with a right cross. The boy attempts to hit him a few more times, but his much bigger victim slaps his fists away. Then, with sudden fury and speed, Haynes is seen grabbing Gale, lifting him, then body slamming him to the cement. The young bully is then seen standing up and limping away. He suffered only a scratch on his knee. Haynes said he never fought back before and wasn't planning to this time, but the anger just built up. Haynes said Gale and his friends began teasing him 2 weeks prior to the fight, but said he'd been bullied for years. He once had friends, but they all ditched him because of the bullying and teasing. The bullies called me fat. They would also slap me on the back of the head, trip me, throw water bombs at me practically every day. They once even duct taped him to a pole. Haynes said he was lonely, and after his friends abandoned him, he was an easy target. The teen also admitted he considered suicide. I just started to put myself down, and then all the crap just kept piling on. I didn't realize how much trouble he was actually in until I saw that video, Haynes' father, Colin, told a current affair. And he said, well, that goes on every day, Dad. Haynes and Gale have both been suspended because of the school's zero-tolerance policy regarding fighting. The teen doesn't regret lashing out at the bully, even though he admits he could have seriously hurt the younger boy. I just wanted it to stop. While many are praising Haynes, his father fears the fight video will only invite more bullies to target his son. There'll be reprisals from other kids in this school, and he still has to go to school somewhere, he said. He's not a violent kid. It's the first time he's lashed out. I don't want him to be victimized over that. If you saw when Casey reacted and he threw Richard to the ground, in the background, what was it that Richard hit?
Head.
Close. If you bring up that
His knee.
he does hit his knee. There's a curve. If you look in the background, when he throws him down,
Yeah, that's
I'm going to bring that up so you can see that picture. When he hits the ground, there is a big cement curve.
Oh god.
Right there. You see we have this big cement curve in the background? When Casey picks him up and slams him down, is Casey thinking at that moment?
No.
Is Casey paying attention to which direction he's holding him?
No.
So is he paying any attention to which side he brought down first?
No.
if his arm had turned the other way and he had brought the other arm down first, which part of Richard would have hit that curb?
Head.
What would have happened?
He would have
Die.
died.
Who would have been responsible for that death?
Casey.
So it's one of those things where in that rage he came down and all it ended up doing was hurting the bully, but it could have very easily have just gone in that split second of turning and bringing the other arm down instead. I think it just happened to be a matter of balance and luck that it wasn't the bully's head hitting that curb at the same time. My question is, why do I connect this story and this video to what we're reading? What connection do we have there? Burns?
Because Johnny was tired of the socials, like, and he knew that that was the one that had attacked him before, so then he attacked him and ended up killing him.
And so when I saw this and read the article, it really connected to me as far as the whole idea of the outsiders. And you have the fact that does Johnny mean to kill Bob? No, it's just that all of a sudden you're freaked out, you're getting bullied. Same thing here. Casey says he just snapped. The kid kept punching him, and all of a sudden things just sort of did that snappy thing, and he's like, rah! And picked the bully up and just sort of tried to get him away to save himself. And then you have that exact same thing happen between Johnny and Bob. And I like that idea of the connection. Plus, the idea here being, which of these two is bigger?
Casey.
Which one should be the bully?
Casey.
And so it's the idea that it does not matter about the size or power. The idea of a 7th grader being able to bully a 10th grader, a sophomore in high school, sounds shocking. But you have the idea here where the kid filming this, who was Richard's friend at the time, they're planning on filming Richard beating up this older kid and then probably posting it to YouTube, showing it to their friends. It didn't go the way that they planned, but that was definitely their idea going into it, was to torment this older kid. And it's the idea that even though the socias are tougher, the greasers are tougher and come from the harder background and stuff like that, they're not necessarily in that position of power. So it's that idea of bullying not always coming from where you expect it and see it. And I mentioned before about the idea of students bullying teachers. And I've seen that happen here. Our current freshman class, that we had a group of girls that were in that class that were very nasty to teachers and very mean. And they flat out would bully teachers. And they would try to control the classroom. They were advanced kids, and they were in an advanced class at the time. I had them, and they are much better now. But while they were in 7th grade, they were not good kids, and they readily admit they weren't good kids. And they tried to control the classroom by insulting and attacking teachers, by making fun of the teachers, by getting the kids to rally and not do what they were supposed to in class. And they would do it every day because they found there were certain teachers that they didn't like. And it was the idea that, can students bully teachers? Definitely. It was the idea that they would do it by talking back to the teacher, by rallying kids to not turn in homework on certain days, by trying to dominate conversations, by just being nasty. And it was that idea of bullying coming from a student toward a teacher. Jackson.
Well, when I was in 1st grade, I had this one teacher. She was bullying me all the time. Like she was always making fun of me that I was smallest in the class. She was always making fun of me because that. And once I had a seizure in the middle of class, and she just did nothing. And then when the principal came in, she called 911, and the teacher just sat there and did nothing.
I can see.
Is he fired?
Tomorrow, we will give you guys a chance to read for part of the time, and we'll be heading over to the library to give you time to work there. Other than that,